This is Andre Big Gemini Kennels, aka BGK. Welcome back. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment, let us know what you're thinking. Make sure you hit that alert button so that you're notified every time we drop content, and that's going to be frequently because we came to drop bombs. Beast mode.
Hey, what up? Let's get ready for a BGK story time.
What up to my YouTube family? It's BGK Andre right back at you with another story time. And today's story time is pretty crazy. It's about the time that I went to breed my 150-pound XL American Bully, better known as BGK's The Rock, the legend, to a female, and he decided at that point that not only did he not like the female and want to fight her, but he didn't trust the owner and wanted to attack him too. Now, if you know BGK's The Rock, you know that he's all about having the best temperament, and he was well known for having the best temperament, and that is one of the reasons all the other dogs in my kennel have such stable, loving temperaments that they do. They're perfect family dogs, perfect family guardians, so whenever BGK's The Rock doesn't like somebody or wants to have some beef with somebody, I pay close attention because normally he is a lover with everybody, okay? Now, BGK's The Rock made his name as one of the first XL American bullies to have legendary production power, right? He produced a lot of XLs that people sought after, such as BGK's Cujo, BGK's Picasso, BGK's Viper. BGK's Viper had what I call the X factor. There was something super unique about his look, super unique about his color. BGK's Azor, BGK's Debo, and a lot of others that I won't even go on. I won't keep dragging you down that path, but he was a legendary producer, and he was also well known as a public service dog. He was actually called the world's largest Pitbull service dog, but in fact, he was an XL American Bully. We would make viral videos walking around together, going through different stores, meeting and greeting people, babies, all kinds of people, man. Rock would just show a lot of love, whether they were handicapped, whether it was a little baby. He would show so much love that people couldn't believe that this huge, quote-unquote, pit bull that was actually an XL American Bully was that loving and that well-handled, right? So that is his legacy, right? So whenever you hear a story like this, you got to think, what the hell caused BGK's The Rock to flip out when he's one of the most stable XL American Bullies to ever walk this planet? All right, so let me give you how it initially started. What I think initially started it was I went to breed BGK's The Rock to a female named Luna. She was owned by a lady that I knew at that point, and the lady told me that Luna was a little crazy, but a lot of dogs are a little crazy, so that didn't really bother me. Let's go ahead and do this breeding. Now, Rock is a ladies' man and was used to all the ladies just loving on him and giving him whatever he wanted and him having his way with all the females that he came across. They were in heat and he would breed to them, no problem. This time was different. When he went to breed with Luna, halfway through the breeding process, when he's doing his stud thing, she flipped around and tried to attack Rock. Now imagine, if you're mid-stroke as a stud and you think everything's going good and all of a sudden this female tries to attack you, that threw Rock off, and I had to kind of separate them because Rock responded with a vengeance. The second she tried to attack him and he kind of recovered from that moment of surprise, he really went after that female. He couldn't believe that she just tried to attack him mid-sex. I guess the female really was crazy like the lady was telling me. I should have listened. Okay, so that event came to a close. I did not do that breeding, separated the two dogs, told the lady, take your crazy ass female on, and the next time you try to breed her, make sure you put a muzzle on her so she doesn't try to attack the stud. All right, and that's for anybody that's getting into breeding. One thing I do advise, if you don't know the female, you don't know how she's going to react, it doesn't hurt to slap a muzzle on her when they're going to go ahead and breed. It can ensure that the stud and her don't have any issues. But moving forward, not long after that, there was another guy, his name was Joe, right, who really wanted to breed to The Rock. And he kept telling me how much he had this girl named Nala, I think her name was. He kept saying Nala wanted to breed to Rock and that he thought it would make a really, really unique breeding. And you know what? He was right. The breeding turned out good, but the initial onset, the way we initially met, did not start out good at all. So what happened was this. Joe kept telling me how much he was a fan of The Rock and he had a female he wanted to breed to Rock and that he wanted to bring her to meet The Rock and kind of get a chance for him to see Rock in person and put hands on him so he can see this 150-pound beast with a 30-inch head that has legendary production power in person. All right. He said, me and my wife are going to bring Nala over to you and let's do this breeding, bro. So what happened was this. I told him the location. We met at this park, right? And I pulled up with The Rock. He pulled up with his wife and he had Nala with him. And when we met, he brought Nala out of the car and I brought Rock out of the car and Rock's pulling towards her. He wants to meet her and she's pulling towards Rock. And all of a sudden, Rock just lunges at her. Rawr, like he straight up wanted to eat this female. He didn't even know her yet, but he just didn't like her energy from the beginning. Now, jumping back to how the story started, I think Rock was responding that way because the last time he went to breed with a female, she flipped on him halfway through the breeding and tried to attack him. So I guess this time he's like, I'm not playing no games. I'm going to set the tone from the beginning, right? Now, as Rock is lunging towards this girl, I was a little off guard because Rock has never done this. So I'm pulling the leash trying to hold him back. And as I'm pulling the leash trying to hold him back, Joe, who doesn't know Rock at all, jumps in front of Rock and his female, saying, no, Rock, no. He's yelling at Rock. And Rock looked at Joe and just lunged at him. I've never seen Rock in this mode before. The way he's lunging at, and Joe is a big dude. Joe is maybe 6'3", 6'4", you know, 280, 300. I don't know. He's a big guy, right? So Rock don't care. He's lunging at this dude. He wants Joe, and Joe like stumbled back and fell on his ass because he realized that Rock was about to attack him, and Rock was not playing. He's like, Dre, what's going on, man? So I had to snatch Rock up, and I managed to put him in the car, and Rock is going nuts in the car. Like he literally busted my back window. He cracked it, right? Just trying to force his way out of the car. I couldn't believe it. So Joe gets in his car and he drives away, and then he calls me like, man, are we still going to do the breeding? Because I'm like, I'm still down to do the breeding, but the way this is going to have to work is I will hold on to the female and I will breed that female to Rock on my own. I'll deliver the litter and I'll give you your female back. Now, that breeding eventually happened, and here's the weird thing. When I went and picked up the female, when I went and picked up Nala and had her by myself and bred her to Rock, Rock had no animosity to her. Rock bred to her. There was no problems. They got along great. Man, they were lovers. Literally, like they were lovers. And the litter turned out amazing. That's actually where BGK's mistress came from, right? BGK's mistress came from the breeding that I'm talking about right now. And she turned out to be a beautiful girl, like gorgeous girl, right? So anyway, with that being said, I realized that the energy that Rock was responding to was not the female, it was Joe. He did not like Joe. There was something about Joe. Joe was the one holding the leash in the beginning, right? And that's who Rock was responding to. And then when Rock lunged at Joe, I then took Rock all over the place doing service dog stuff. No problems. But with Joe, Rock didn't like him. Now, what did I find out later? Joe turned out to be a racist, saying all kind of racist stuff online. The truth actually came to light that Mr. Joe Rogers was a scamming scumbag and a thief who attempted to rob, or actually did rob, allegedly, my good friend Jeff Harrison of Titan Bullies. Yeah, that happened. My guy Jeff Harrison, who owns Titan Bullies, employed Joe. Not only did he employ Joe, he gave Joe and his family a house to live in and paid all the bills. Joe's only job was to take care of the dogs. Now, Jeff Harrison is a very well-off man, a multi-millionaire. So Joe had hit the jackpot by connecting with Jeff Harrison. Now, let me be clear. When I say that Joe Rogers hit the jackpot by connecting with Jeff Harrison, let me explain. He truly hit the jackpot. Jeff and Carolyn Harrison own and operate It's a 10 Hair Care, which according to Forbes magazine generates somewhere around $500 million in revenue every freaking year. In addition to that, Jeff used to own Cash for Gold and most recently just launched Rewind It 10, which is beard dye that is some of the best that's on the market and has been endorsed by celebrities such as DJ Khaled, the male supermodel Tyson Beckford, and the famous rapper Fat Joe, who loves it so much he even took it on set to Bad Boys, the new Bad Boys film, and gifted it to Will Smith, as you can see in this clip. So for clarification, Jeff, being the successful entrepreneur he is, chose to get into XL American Bullies because he has a passion for dogs and decided to start Titan Bullies, right? Which is still going today. Check out Titan Bullies if you get a chance, right? And he chose to have Joe Rogers as the main guy to own and operate this, and gave him a very generous salary, and paid for a home for him to live in. I mean, this is the best as it gets when it comes to breeding. You have a multimillionaire that's hiring you to do what you love, which is deal with dogs and do the breedings, so on and so forth, as well as providing you and your family with a big, beautiful home to live in. Now, who's going to fuck up an opportunity like that? I can tell you who. The shady-ass scamming scumbag, Joe Rogers. Allegedly. He connected with Jeff, and Jeff thought Joe was just the best guy ever. Jeff this early that, Joe was a shady guy, but sometimes you got to learn on your own. But anyway, short story shorter, what we learned later on was that Joe had access to Jeff's accounts and started stealing all kind of money out of Jeff's accounts, right? This guy's giving you a free house to live in, paying all your bills, and giving you a salary on top of that. And this guy decided to rob Jeff. The first thing Jeff did was have his legal team do a full audit of the bank accounts so he can realize just how much money this shady-ass scumbag allegedly was stealing. After realizing how much Joe was allegedly stealing from him, Jeff decided to take legal action and also to go ahead and get Joe up out of his house. And I don't think Joe Rogers realized just how well connected that Jeff was. Let's just put it this way. It's not the smartest thing to rip off the multimillionaire that's been taking care of you and your family. Actually, it's kind of fucking stupid. Now, Jeff handled things on his own and sent a few of his guys in a caravan over to the house to tell Joe he had to go. Joe caught wind of Jeff sending all the guys over there to tell him he had to go, left his family, left his wife, left his kids at the house, and bailed when he heard the guys were coming because he knew the kind of dirt he was doing. So this story goes to show that your dogs can sense out the character in people that you won't believe they can sense out. After this incident, Jeff would expose Joe on all of the boards and on social media, letting them know he was a piece of crap and had tried to rip him off and stolen money from him. Jeff made it very clear that Joe is no longer associated with Titan Bullies, and Titan Bullies does amazing business and produces amazing dogs. They are co-signed by Andre BGK. If you get a chance, check out Titan Bullies. Great people. At this point, Jeff has been a great friend of mine for years, an amazing individual, and did the community a big service by getting rid of this scumbag who has run off to the hills and has never been seen by the breeding world again. He is tucking his tail and hiding his face, as he should. I mean, what type of dude allegedly robs his employer who's been taking great care of him and then runs off and leaves his wife and children when he hears a caravan is on the way? Who runs off and leaves their wife and kids? No ethics, no moral standing, none. What? Goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Mr. Joe Rogers. In my humble opinion, BGK's The Rock knew that Joe was a piece of shit way before I did, and that's why he reacted that way that day, and that's why he lunged at him and tried to attack him, all right? Because he's never done that with anybody before or after. With that being said, when your dogs doesn't randomly trust somebody, and they usually are good with everybody, you probably shouldn't trust them either. I know it sounds weird, but that's just my take. Y'all tell me if y'all ever had any encounters where your dogs knew somebody was dirty before you did. Drop it in the comments. Pick up this book, the XL American Bully Legends book, available to you on Amazon and available on our website. It really gives you the details and the behind the scenes about the origins of the breed and all the 15 legends and honorable mentions that help shape and mold the XL American Bully breed. Last but not least, if you're not aware of the #1 bully supplement in the business, the Big Dog supplement, then shame on you. It is made by 90% human grade organic ingredients. It is top shelf. All the vitamins, nutrients, amino acids, protein, anything that you can use to supplement diatomaceous earth. vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin B12, vitamin D3, vitamin E, ester C, B1, B2. Dude, it has... Now, I'm not going to bore you with the detail, but I'll just say that this is a mix that we perfected over the last decade. We bought in the pet nutritionist, we bought in the vet, and we really refined this. We have our guaranteed lab analysis on the back of every bag. This is top shelf. If you want to see why our dogs reach the max potential that they do, this supplement is a big part of it and has been a big secret of ours for years. When people are tripping out on how my BGK dogs develop, one thing they don't understand is this supplement has been given to that dog since it was a puppy all the way through its young adulthood, and it has a big impact on it reaching its max potential. We have our bulk up mix, which is if you want your dog to get bigger, growth and development, health and immunity, bigger, bulkier. This is what your bulk up mix is for. You have to be careful. If your dog starts growing too fast, cut back on it, and kind of measure it out. We also have our muscle up mix, which is for the super high energy dog because it has a lot higher protein and it's just a more intense mix overall. So you want to make sure if you're giving your muscle up mix to a dog, it's definitely going to get the exercise in that's needed to convert that energy into muscle, right? That's what the muscle up mix is for. So check us out, bigdogsupplement.com, bigdogsupplement.com. This is Andre BGK, and I'm out.